When I never felt that, come on, yeah. Never felt that, come on, yeah. When I never felt that, come on, yeah. You gotta get up.
Welcome to Chapter 10, Introduction to Feudalism, into the Carolingian Empire, that's Charlemagne. Vikings are going to be the biggest threat, Germanic group of people from Norway, Sweden, Denmark. Great seafaring people, let's just call them seafarers. Explored, traded, raided the peoples of Europe. They will then be given or taken land and become Christianized. So if you ever wonder what happened to the Vikings, they met women, settled down, and started acting just like the people that they conquered and therefore became assimilated. Feudalism. This is our social structure. It's going to be a lot more complicated than we're going to get into. There's going to be some overlap. Basically, it is the relationship between lords and vassals. That will be the biggest part of the political and social structure. There are ties of loyalty and duty among nobles. Nobles are both lords and vassals, and ties are made official by acts of homage, which we'll get into later. Fiefs, given to vassals by lords. Fiefs are tracts of land. All wealth is measured in land. Lords give vassals the right to govern the people who lived on the fiefs, and they promise to give protection to the vassals. If you break your feudal contract, you lose your fief. Without a fief, you are a landless knight, meaning you are nothing. Vassals have certain duties they have to perform for the lord. They've got to help the lord in battle. They must personally put in anywhere from 40 to 60 days of military service a year. You must give your lord money when your lord's daughter gets married or when their sons get knighted. If, in case your lord gets kidnapped or captured, you must help pay the ransom. You will attend the lord's court and providing food and entertainment whenever he stops by your house. All nobles are ultimately vassals of the king. Nobles provide the king with knights to form an army for defense and conquest, and so basically because of this, all the real power rests with the nobles. The smallest level, or the bottom level, of nobles, we're going to have knights. Almost all nobles are knights. Society is made up of these three groups: nobles, clergy, and peasants/townspeople. If you want to be a knight, your training is going to start when you're about 7 years old as a page. You'll be given to the lady of the manor. She's going to teach you courtly manners, reading, music, dancing, pretty much all the necessities of being a noble. They will run errands and serve the lady in return. They will also start serving knights, performing very, very simple tasks. When you get to 15, you move up to being a squire and you'll be placed under the guidance of a knight. This knight will teach you the skills of knighthood, basically how to ride a horse and kill people. Following knights into battle, you will help your knight in case they're wounded, fall off their horse. It's tough when you're in a suit of armor and you fall off your horse. You need some help. If you actually prove that you are sufficiently good at being a fighter, you will be made a knight in a special ceremony known as dubbing. Knights are expected to follow certain rules. Maybe you've heard of the word or the phrase code of chivalry. It's not actually as chivalrous as we'd like to think it was. And then once you become a knight, basically you spend all your time training for war by fighting each other in tournaments. You've seen jousting maybe on TV. It's the most popular form of entertainment during the Middle Ages because you don't have a lot of other options. Your average knight is going to look something like this handsome dude. All right, if we look at the feudal contract, in the simple forms, it's you have lords and vassals. The lords will provide protection to the vassals. The vassals will give service to the lords. So now we have our period of power. There's our guy down at the bottom working. At the bottom we have serfs and freemen. They must provide labor for the lesser nobles and knights. In return, they will gain protection. The lesser noble and knights provide loyalty and military service to the powerful nobles, and these nobles will then provide the land, the fiefs, and protection. And then the powerful nobles swear service and loyalty to the king, and the king will give them land, and it all works itself back down. Alright, very, very brief overview of the origins of feudalism. Tried to keep it as simple as possible. The end.